At 7 o'clock, we got number 2 Michigan playing number 13 Iowa in such a huge matchup of the day. Michigan is the largest spread of the day, favored by 11 points on Fox. Remember, this is Michigan's first Big Ten championship game appearance. This is the first team other than Ohio State to represent the West since 2016. That was 5 years ago with Penn State. Cade McNamara last week to beat Ohio State and send the Michigan Wolverines here went 13-19, threw for 159 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. But the real reason why they were able to win was because of their ground game with a man named Hassan Haskins. He ended up having 28 carries on the ground for 169 yards and a touchdown. Roman Wilson ended up having 2 catches for 55 yards. He led the team in receiving yards. Iowa, on the other hand, lost their only appearance in 2015 to Michigan State by 3 points, and that was such a heartbreaker because likely that year it was like the SEC championship game this year. Whoever wins makes the playoffs. It was such a huge game, and Michigan ended up scoring a late touchdown to take the 3-point lead when Iowa was up by 4. They had it on a 4th and goal, and Iowa was unable to stop Michigan State, and they were able to get it in the end zone, and that ended Iowa's playoff hopes and dreams. And that was so huge. It was so demoralizing for all those Hawkeye fans. But they actually do have a shot to make the playoffs this year. A lot of things have to go right, but they have put themselves in a they have an outside chance of making the playoffs this year. Spencer Petras last week to keep their season alive went 7-13 against Nebraska, threw for 102 yards. Tyler Goodson ended up having 23 carries for 156 yards, and Sam Laporta had 3 catches for 61 yards. Michigan has dominated Iowa all time, 42-15. Last game went to Michigan in 2019, but Iowa has won 4 out of the last 6. They've been very good recently in the matchups. The only real thing I think is really kind of interesting in this game was which defense is better. Iowa is obviously a very good defense this year, as well as Michigan. And the real thing is who's going to dominate. I think Iowa is a very well-coached defense, but I think Michigan is too, and Michigan has a lot of talent on this football team. Now, again, Iowa needs a lot of things to go right. Obviously, Baylor needs to beat Oklahoma State, hopefully by not a lot if you're an Iowa fan. If that did not happen at 11 o'clock, then your season is done, other than a chance to win a Big Ten championship game. A Big Ten championship, right? You would also need Georgia to beat Alabama. You need to eliminate Bama from the conversation. And also you need to be a huge Cincy fan. Because I know you look at it and you think a one-loss American team is not going to make it. But the fact is that one-loss American team would have a tiebreaker over the only other one-loss team. And I think they let in Cincy despite losing, as well as Houston for beating them. So I do think that you need Cincy to win that game. So if Cincy's able to win, Georgia's able to win, Notre Dame would get the 3 seed simply by existing and not having to play this weekend, then the 4 seed would be open. And then if you were able to dominate Michigan, I think you get in over Baylor. Now, Baylor would have a decent argument, so you need Baylor to win close against Oklahoma State. Again, if that did not happen at 11 o'clock, your season is done outside of a chance at a Big Ten championship if you're Iowa. So, again, a lot of things have to go right. Obviously, again, the ACC thing, that is also happening. You got some help by Utah so that they could take Oregon out of the conversation. But the real interesting thing is, can Pitt and Wake Forest make an outside play for this thing if they were able to dominate in the ACC championship game? So, obviously, ideally, Wake Forest would win this one if you're Iowa, because Wake Forest is 1 below Pitt. They're sitting at 16. But it doesn't matter a whole lot. You just need whoever to win close and not dominate. Because if they win close and doesn't dominate, then they don't have that argument. But a lot of things have to go right, but Iowa still has an outside shot at this. I think Michigan's the much better football team here, though. I don't think it's all that close. I think Michigan's going to go, and they're going to dominate Iowa. Sorry, Hawkeye fans.